good! Beer is good! Beer is good! Let's go drink some beer! 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 Beer!
Hey guys, Tuesday. Personal note. Personal log. Just got back from Ms. Bomey's first post-op appointment with her doctor, the surgeon. And first thing they did is they looked, and the stitches, some of them were degrading on their own, and which ones were left, he took those out. Said that whoever has been taking care of her her incision was doing a really good job. And needed to take a look at her vocal cords, and if he wasn't able to see down there with the mirror, he was going to have to put the camera back in her. Thankfully he was able to see it, because she really wasn't looking forward to that. But we were supposed to get a read on the biopsy from the mass that was taken out during the surgery. And our clinic, which isn't a bad one by any means, they have a great reputation, after over, was it 2 attempts, I guess he said, it was inconclusive, so it was actually sent to the Mayo Clinic, and after one of their departments had looked at it, it was still inconclusive, so we're waiting on those results yet, which I'm going to take that as a good thing, because, like for instance, I mean, as soon as I see Obama, I know he's an asshole, so if you couldn't immediately tell that it was lots of aggressive cancer, then, and you got to look more, so just saying. What are we looking at today? We're looking at Messiah Nut Brown Ale from Hebrew, the chosen beer. Oh, and I know Chuck will always be the first to point it out. I went over for a couple of hours this morning to give a friend of mine a hand, and he asked me if I could stain some cabinets. And I'm like, okay, where's the gloves? And he's like, oh, I forgot about those. Like, okay. So this is the color of his cabinets after some acetone and half a bottle of Gojo. It's impressive. Oh, bottle cap. Sorry. Hebrew. Okay, so before we do this, let's all remember that one of my personal favorites is Moose Drool, and the one from Clown Shoes, the Brown Angel, is also exceptional. This glass looks like ass. You know, if you ever see my dishwasher out at the range, do not be surprised. A piece of shit. Maytag man, I kick his ass. Bastard wouldn't be sleeping if he was over here. You can tell me why the thing leaks and can't wash a dish. You know, it's pretty bad when you have to wash your dishes before you put them in the dishwasher, and then they still don't get clean. Sorry. Okay, well, it's brown. Pretty aggressive pour. Didn't result in the fear factor going off. Doesn't smell bad. Has that almost a chocolate-like kind of a smell to it. Then again, I'll admit that I'm kind of smell handicapped right now. So, cheers, guys, and a cheers to Ms. Bomey's doctor and surgeon. He's a really nice guy. It's really nice to find someone with ethics. A friend of mine was telling me that Some doctors these days are actually required to take a course in that, which like that's going to hurt anything. He told me to look for the indicators after, and I didn't see anything but doctor, so maybe he's just a nice guy on his own. You know, sometimes you don't actually have to take a course to not be a prick. Chuck. Well, this is not turning out to be the holy grail of beers that got passed over a couple of times. It's it doesn't it's it's not going to end up in the toilet, but you get spoiled when you, especially something like the Moose Drool, one of the honest first brown ales that I had, and then you kind of, it's that whole woman thing, you assume that the next one could be better, but it turns out that you should have just settled with that first Moose Drool. I don't know if someone's got a suggestion on a nut brown ale. By all means, especially if I can get my hands on it. You don't see a lot of them, but so far, as far as consistency goes, for they're kind of like the Samuel Adams, as far as how much of the Moose Drool is made. They're not a Budweiser, but they're obviously beyond a small microbrewery. Kind of has it really does kind of have a chocolatey kind of a smell. The smell isn't all that bad, but the initial taste is kind of harsh, kind of non-organic. I gotta think of something that describes it better than saying metallic, because it's not quite to the point where I really want to completely diss it. I think I still have 2 more of these, because there was 4 kinds, 3 of each. Something for the guests. Yeah, it's the only good part is there's a little bit of a roasted malt finish. That's fairly smooth. I mean, at least that up front thing that I'm not really care for too much doesn't stick around all the way to the end. Oh, the Paul Hasman 440 put up a fast video basically just teasing me. Lake Superior Brewing Company's a very, very limited release that they have. Works out to 8 something for a 12 ounce. That stuff really looked good. Barrel aged. Put a link to Paul's video if you're interested. I'm always interested in any beer news like that. On the other hand, to think that if you absolutely wanted it, they had a taste testing thing, and you could pick up some there, and then what was ever left over was sold this morning at the gift shop until it was gone. So, like Paul said, it was literally like the Black Friday thing at a Best Buy or somewhere. Get in line if you want to get some. Let's just get the E-scale out of the way. I'm disappointed because I actually think that this this brewery's a little play on that's Malt's brewing company, and they're in New York. This the whole Hebrew, the chosen beer thing, it's like it's got the kind of creative 5.2%, but it's just I'd say at best it's a 7. Would I get it again? I mean, honestly, we've already recapped this endlessly. There's no reason to, because life is short, so why drink shitty beer? This may not be shitty beer, but there's this sitting next to Moose Drool. Forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Just wanted to mention one other thing that I got. I have to take a look at. It's a 4.5 hour tactical firepower handgun system. And this comes from Tactical Firepower. I'm assuming that this is out of Minnesota. But who got me in touch with this is a YouTube friend of mine. His name is Scott. His channel is 9 by My Side. He hasn't really done much lately. He was pretty busy for a while there. And Scott is one of the instructors through this for this course, and he thought I should really take a look at it. He says it's like their own spin on the Magpul pistol dynamics kind of thing. I really like the dude's business card. All things that you in the event of a righteous shoot, things to keep in mind. I refuse to waive and I invoke my Fourth Amendment right to be free from unreasonable searches. I do not consent to any search of my home, vehicle, or person. I refuse to waive and I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and refuse to answer any questions. And I refuse to waive and invoke the Sixth Amendment right. Do not ask me any questions without my attorney present. I refuse to waive all privileges and rights. Persistent to Miranda v. Arizona. Because, some people may think that's kind of harsh, but right after something traumatic, like a defensive shoot, you got the adrenaline going and you just zip it. You don't say anything until you've had a chance to completely think about it and get an attorney. I've actually looked into a couple of them, and for financial reasons I don't have anything right now, but there is several that you can just put on retainer, for a pretty small monthly fee. But I'll be, so you guys know about this shit before anybody does over at the Ebomi side of it. Tactical Firepower Handgun Systems, and I will be reviewing this, and if I like what I see, you'll see a video up on the Ebomi side. But I'm really interested. Scott, and 9 by My Side, was very, very stoked about this, and the fact that he calls daily, wanting to know if I've had a chance to review it. And as you can see, it's not open yet. I got some shit going on right now, and just haven't had the opportunity to get to that. I guess what I could do is if I downloaded it and dumped it onto my tablet, I could watch it before I attempt sleep, which is another fleeting thing lately. So as far as politics goes, I really haven't had a chance to listen to much at all, actually, for the last week plus. But the one thing I've been hearing a lot of, they're starting to put up some of the stats, like the top 10 states that people are leaving, or areas. New Jersey is number 1. New York is number 4. I'm actually really surprised to see that New York was number 4. West Virginia was actually, I think, number 3. Connecticut was on there. most of the areas that people, Illinois was 2. Most of these areas that people are leaving are the ones that, I know economics, that's what the, media or the liberal bias is going to tell you, but it's pretty curious that, well, the Virginia one, I don't understand. I don't understand what's the issue with West Virginia. Someone could tell me, because, I'm not there. But that top 10, it's surprising how many of the places that people are saying, adios, I'm out of here, are anti-gun states. That's right. Don't mess with our freedom. A lot of people will point out, like the video I put up on the Ebomi side, come take this. Yeah, it's great. I love the idea. But if you're going to have 10 people say, yes, I will fight for my rights, and then when it actually comes down to it, only one guy does, and, he's taken out on his front porch, if we don't stand in numbers, we don't stand a chance. And there's another side note. An old YouTube friend of mine, GunGod556. If you see this video and my comments, and I'll try to remember to put a link down below, not only to Paul and his beer video, excuse me, but GunGod556, he's a great guy, and this isn't anything negative on him. He put up a video. His last video was talking about his SAFE Act, New York SAFE Act, modifications to his ARs, to the ones he's building. He's got 3 in process right now. I had to shut it off. Lately, my excessive stress is manifesting itself. What feels like someone has a steel bar winding up across my shoulders. And I was sitting there watching this, and it's, like I said, it's nothing against him, but he's going over the shit that these poor bastards in New York that have to comply with this bullshit act, the SAFE Act, the Go Screw Yourself Act. It's not safe for anybody except for the criminals. It kind of frees them up. Everything from the welding the flash hider on to, in essence, one of his guns, there's no gas block on it because it's a single shot. Yeah. Every single time he fires it, he has to recharge it in order to get it to fire again. I need a beer. The other one, another way to comply was to basically bolt the magazine up in place, which would be a 7-shot. So he literally has to load it like a Mosin Nagant, basically. Let's look at this tomorrow. Mama's Little Yellow Pills from Oscar Blues. Pills is in Pilsner. 5.3%. Ooh, what do we find here? Sucks. Not so much. Not so much at all. Not for a 10. Yeah. So I literally had to scoot my ass. Yeah, I'm making up excuses, blaming him. I pretty much had to scoot my ass away from the computer, go pour half a glass of whiskey, and then put a shot of 7-Up in it to settle down. I realize I'm talking to the choir, talking to you guys, but what a bunch of absolute bullshit. Every single politician, and I don't have any problem saying this at all, I believe that you personally should be involved in some kind of a violent act done by a criminal to you, because none of us honest, law-abiding citizens who believe in freedom are going to come and help you, because, like in the case of New York, all their hands are tied, except for the criminals, who you're making their life a lot easier. If you personally believe in limiting my right to everything. I mean, I realize that, you know, for me, it comes down to me, you know, freedom is an overall package, and part of that package is my right to bear arms. And you know, all the people that the only people that get hurt by this kind of bullshit is the good people, because criminals don't care. Criminals do not give a shit if you have to take off the pistol grip and put some stupid little web of your thumb thing on there, and all of a sudden that makes it okay. It's not as evil of a gun if it doesn't have a pistol grip. Same fucking gun, but it doesn't have a pistol grip. Makes a lot of sense, because God, this stuff smells so good. Because incrementalism, basically, you know, doucheskins like Obama, the big loser, worst president in American history, and I can't wait till they flush the shit down the toilet. You know, he may realize that he's not going to come after everything in one big grab, but just keep pecking away at it. I guess Rush was talking today about the pile of papers that represents all of the changes that affect us that have been pushed through in this last year that did not require a congressional, well, which most of it probably should have, but that didn't require any congressional approval. Just pushed through. Just arbitrarily, laws and rules and regulations changed. And how much do you want to bet that they didn't change to become more relaxed? Oh. Yeah, you won't. You're not going to get me in a bad mood. I'm going to stay positive. I just hope every single one of these pricks, I hope that the sheep don't forget. Between the economy, which has gone, it continues to go into the shithouse, and the biggest piece of shit in American history, the biggest piece of shit in American history, still tries to blame somebody else. Really? You own it. You wanted the job. You know, that'd be like, say I could get my dream job and I'm doing anything in the firearms world and I could escape from what I'm doing. Well, I'm not doing anything now, but what I'm supposed to be doing. And someone says to me, you know, we're going to give you this job because the guy that was here before you did this, 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 and this. I'm like, yeah. And all I can do every single day that I report to work is say, yeah, but my predecessor really screwed things up for me. My predecessor really screwed things up for me. Well, then why did I want the job? I wanted the job. If I couldn't do the job, then I should be man enough, but he's not man enough. He's a piece of shit. That would be okay if he was at least an American citizen. Barry. Yeah. Cigarettes are bad, but let's roll up a joint. Oh yeah, enough bitching. I got my nursing duties to get to. We got back, she was a little pooped, so she went to go take a nap, and I'm like, ah. But it's progressing. It's getting better. Obviously, and today is 8 days. The stitches are already out. He says the stop with cleaning it twice a day and putting antibiotics on top of it. Now you can just basically put like Vaseline just to keep it moist, so that minimizes the amount of scarring, which he thinks is going to be very minimal. And the fact that 2 labs, or our lab on 2 tries and 1 try at the Mayo Clinic, still don't know if it's something or nothing. Obviously, maybe I'm just being very optimistic here, but obviously it can't be something really, really bad, can it? You know, we know what something really, really bad looks like. That's just a big, big, cysty, shit-looking thing. Doesn't that look natural? Right there. Okay, so a recap. Just on the north side of drinkable. Yeah, I wouldn't turn one down. I just wouldn't buy one. And yeah, these are awesome. And tomorrow we'll take a look at Mama's Little Yellow Pills from Oscar Blues. I think tomorrow. Yeah, I should be able to squeeze one in tomorrow. So there you go. Cheers, guys. Yeah, if you want to, for sake of looking at something interesting, go ahead and do a Google search on their top 10 cities that people are fleeing or moving from, and you tell me how much influence do you think your rights and freedoms on top of the economy are in there. Because if it was just about the economy, I don't think a lot many people would be leaving New York. I don't know, there's a lot of people, and I truly hope the sheep remember this for the elections, because sheep have a tendency to be really, really stupid, because all it really takes for a sheep is to give them something so that they can, just stand there with their hand out. And I'm the kind of person that wants to give a hand up. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. And again, thank you, everybody. Cheers.